If you are into car building and never heard the term LS swap, you are not into car building. And you're definitely not a gearhead. The Chevrolet LS engine has to be, hands down, the most swapped engine in the world. And not just because it's the most budget-friendly, most horsepower option. It is because it is rated one of the best engines ever made. An LS swap is an engine switch and installation. The LS can mean any engine made by GM from a factory truck 4.8 to GM's popular LS3 or LS7. The specific LS engine you choose to start with will depend mostly on the budget you have to work with. Choosing an engine all comes down to what your particular goals are in making an LS swap and how much you want to spend. For most, a junkyard 5.3 or 6.0 is the target engine to swap if you aren't concerned with having an all-aluminum block. They can usually be had from $500 minus $1,500 depending on displacement and mileage. They are cheap, readily available in any junkyard, and you can make decent power with just a cam swap. The next step up in price is the all-aluminum LS1 engine. This LS engine was first released in the 1997 Corvette, and is still a popular option because of the design which makes it small, durable and light. Complete with all accessories, this engine will typically run close to $2,500. The LS3 and LS7 engine models from GM are the next step up. The LS3 was first released in the 2008 Corvette and was the most powerful Corvette engine to date. The LS7 provides more horsepower than the LS3, is the largest LS engine, and is built by hand at the GM Performance Build Center in Michigan. The LS3 and LS7 engines run anywhere between $7,000 and $12,000. The motor mount adapter plates are the foundation to a successful LS swap. Adapter plates bolt onto the LS engine block, allowing you to bolt the engine securely to the crossmember. There are adjustable and stock location adapter plates available, also known as 1-inch setback plates. Stock location refers to the point where the transmission meets the engine. When mounting the engine, keep in mind that the mating point for an LS engine has a different distance from the transmission than the mating point for a SBC engine. Most car applications require the LS engine to be moved forward due to firewall clearance issues with the passenger side cylinder head. After choosing which LS engine you will be using for the LS engine swap, you need to pick which transmission you want to run behind it. Some people like to use the older GM TH350, TH400 or 700 R4 transmissions. These are economically adequate choices. However, these transmissions require a flex plate adapter to work with the LS series flex plate. Highly recommended is the GM 4L60E transmission over a traditional 3-speed automatic.
That was a mistake.
The 4L60E transmission provides an ideal driving experience to match the price point. The 4L80E and 6L80E GM transmissions are fantastic choices as well if your budget allows. Usually they are not needed unless you have a built engine. All three of these GM transmissions can be sourced easily from a local junkyard. For those of you who want to bang through the gears for an exciting driving experience, we recommend the T56 or TR66T transmissions. With the correct flywheel and clutch sourced from the donor vehicle of your transmission, either of these transmissions can easily bolt up to any LS engine you are using. Other popular options are the CO 500 and CO 600 transmissions. Many carbureted cars have already been converted to these modern 5-speed transmissions, however the input shaft isn't long enough to reach the crank. To get around this, just swap the old bell housing out for the GM 621 bell housing. To do this you will also need a pilot bushing GM part number 12,557,583 or its equivalent, and an LS flywheel, part number 12,561,680 or its equivalent. This particular flywheel is 400 inches thicker than the standard LS flywheel, which makes up for the difference of the LS crank being 400 inches further behind the bell housing. Adapter brackets are available from Street and Performance and Detroit Speed for mounting the hydraulic master cylinder to the firewall behind the brake booster. Or, with a drill press and some simple tools, you can always check out YouTube, get adventurous and make your own. Flex plates may or may not be a concern when making your LS swap. If you are using a modern transmission, 4L60E, 4L80E, 6L80E or newer, there won't be a problem. You can simply use an LS flex plate. If you are trying to mate an older transmission, such as the TH350 or TH400, etc., then you can still use the LS flex plate, but you will need a flex plate spacer to make it work. We offer this spacer in the carb conversion section of our store. The flex plate spacer will work to provide support for your torque converter hub, and align it with the crank. The accessory drive propels the accessories that work in tandem with the engine. There is no one-size-fits-all when choosing an accessory drive to use in your LS swap. You will need to do some additional research about your specific LS swap application with your specific needs and what will fit. Below is some basic information to get you started. There are 3 basic accessory drive spacing layouts: Corvette, Camaro, and Truck 2010 plus Camaro spacings. The Corvette spacing is closest to the engine block, while the Camaro spacing is 3-4 inch farther away. The Truck 2010 plus Camaro is 1.5 further away than the Corvette spacing. A variety of companies sell factory and aftermarket solutions to these accessory drives. There is no one-size-fits-all. You will need to research your specific swap application to determine what system will work best for you. We like LS simple. Make sure you tell Murphy I said, "What's up?" The engine wiring harness is an important component of your LS swap. It can be intimidating to some, but it really is pretty straightforward and simple. When doing an LS swap, you have 3 options in integrating the engine wiring harness successfully. You can buy a standalone harness, have a new harness custom built, or rewire the harness that came with your LS engine. In most cases, people end up having the harness that came with their LS engine rewired. This option is cost-effective and can be done easily by a professional who has experience with these harnesses. Though doing the wiring for the harness yourself might be tempting as it can save money, we strongly recommend having the rewire service done by a professional, unless you already have experience in proper wiring techniques. If you are still determined to tackle this task on your own, be sure to do your homework. You can find some helpful videos on YouTube to help get you through the process. Truck oil pans are a bit easier, as most stock truck oil pans typically fit well into classic truck applications. They do, however, tend to hang a little lower than the factory SBC pan, but this can be worked around. If you are looking for a specific recommendation, we prefer the Hummer H3 oil pan, as in our experience it works well on all truck applications. For a car installation, I'd go with Holley or Mazda Motorsports. Steam tubes are the tubes at the top of the heads in the engine. They keep the heads from overheating by allowing hot spots to clear and escape. They are essential, so do not cap them off unless you have completely bled off all the air in the coolant system. Capping them off will cause problems down the road, creating hot spots around the top of cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 if there is any air left in the system. When doing your LS swap, you want to make sure that the tubes connect somewhere that the air can escape safely. Some people connect the steam tubes to the water pump spacers or the water pump housing, and some connect them to the radiator. There. I installed my first LS swap with a friend of mine, and I had never installed an engine into a car before. It took me about 4 months, with not that tough of a learning curve. It's now my daily driver. So, grab yourself an LS engine, and get out there and be somebody.